All right, here we go. Season 4. 3, 2, 1, go. Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining us Under the Library. This is our actual play Call of Cthulhu show, and this will be episode 1 of our 4th season. If you like what we do here and would care to support it, please check out underthelibrary.com/support. There you'll find direct links to our first module called The Snake's Oil and to our Patreon. Both of those things go a long way in support of what we do here. Again, that is underthelibrary.com/support. And if you are a tabletop role-playing gamer or GM looking to elevate your tabletop gaming experience, you should definitely check out our other podcast. It is called Up Your RPG and can be found wherever you get your podcasts. With that done, let's start a show. My name's Arthur, and I will be playing Buddy. We will be without our friend Chris for a while. He's fine, and he is still very much involved in the behind-the-scenes portion of the show, but you will not be hearing his voice for at least a little bit. We do have Wayne back as Sister B. Emily is playing Colette. Rick is Sam, and Scott is Eddie. As always, our keeper and the person who creates the sandbox that we play in is Michael. Michael, the show's all yours.
Hey, thanks for joining us Under the Library. We are a tabletop role-playing game set in the Call of Cthulhu universe. As such, we feature themes of gore and tonight possibly dismemberment and other things associated with the horror genre. As such, if there's a non-zero chance that there's a placenta in the to-go container in your refrigerator, you're probably in the right place tonight. And with that, I will turn it over to Emily, who will bring us into season 4.
At the end of last season, Buddy and Eddie find a woman in the closet on the second floor of Richard's house. She initially freaks out at the sight of Buddy's uniform, and they discover that she has a very difficult history with the facility. I won't give away the good stuff. We'll probably get to it later. And Sam is there as well. Sam and the woman didn't entirely hit it off. Sister B shows up as well, mentions she's Richard's sister to everyone's surprise, and that she believes he's alive. And Eddie starts to cough, tastes a weird metallic flavor. Buddy shares the atlas. We all got together. New characters met. Thought maybe we might find some answers in Bloodstone.
All right. So we're zooming ahead about 3 weeks. And at this point, Eddie and Colette, Eddie, you're taking up residence in some apartments outside the city that they've put you in?
Yeah, it's like just a little cheap kind of hotel, typical FBI accommodations. They just find the cheapest place they can put us up.
Okay. And it's safe to assume Buddy is with you?
Either way, or if you've got to stay at the base and then we still just meet up for the investigation. I think it just depends.
Yeah, I the way I had envisioned it, we would be together.
Sure.
That I would be continuing to help, and more on that later.
Yeah, great.
And you've kept Colette kind of under the auspices of protection or maybe having some.
I'm thinking she's
knowledge.
an asset. Yep, she's an asset.
Okay.
I'm going to keep her sort of safe, and she's helping with the investigation. And I know some bad stuff happened, so I want to see if I can help get her justice.
Okay,
So Eddie,
Sam,
what
you've
name did you sign me into the hotel under?
Wait, do I get to actually pick this?
No, absolutely not. Sam,
But
you're
he
back
would have.
home.
It would have had to have been an assumed name.
Emily, how long would you like Colette to live through this season?
The threats already.
Yeah. All right, Sam, you're back home trying to restore things on the family front.
Yep.
And Sister B, you're working in town at a soup kitchen. Is that correct? and awaiting the results from the tests that you sent off, or the blood samples that you sent off at the end of last season. Expedited mail, of course. Or
So
expedited
it only
courier.
takes 10 days then?
Yeah, I think so. Somewhere around there. All right. So why don't we start with Sister B? That seems kind of the low stakes thing. And I think we can probably just jump right into you returning to the pharmacy that you dropped them off at.
Oh, that would be good. Going to the pharmacy. So Sister B will go down street with her, just like always, with suitcase in hand, just in case. She likes to bring suitcase with her. If something she doesn't know with blood samples, will come to him. Perhaps she will be leaving soon, so she will bring suitcase. Is Pappy still around? Or is he gone?
Well, Pappy has disappeared at the moment.
Okay, so she'd be concerned about Pappy, because Pappy, he spent most of his time around her in the few days, and she grew accustomed to him, and he's disappeared. So she's also very curious and keeps her eye out to see about Pappy if there's any signs of him. That's very important to her.
Make an intelligence roll.
Okay,
because Pappy he's riding the rails. He's no stranger to kind of wandering off.
That would be a 15, which is a.
So you're really concerned then that Pappy's gone missing with those books, because you were there when those books, he cleared them off the table.
Those most important books, yes.
Yeah.
And there was that also that book that Joe had, and that book ended up. Where did that book end up? The sketchbook.
That ended up with Pappy. There's two books.
Okay.
The one, let me clarify. You're only aware of, I guess at this point, the one book, and that would be Joe's book that was on the table, that sketchbook that called to you, and remember he put in his bag and took away.
Wait, there was that other book too.
The Atlas.
Not just the sketchbook.
There's the Atlas that Buddy has. There's actually three books, right?
Yes, but the third one y'all don't know of, right?
Right, third one. Okay.
Yeah, that's not character knowledge.
Yeah, there was Atlas, there was sketchbook, and then there was other book that drew people in and did strange things to Joe.
That's the one. That's the sketchbook. In addition.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah, that's Joe's journal.
Yeah.
I really confused things by also giving Joe a sketchbook, but it's Joe's journal that
does all the strange.
Things.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And that's the one at the ice cream shop that was on the table that called to you.
Yes.
But instead, Pappy took it away.
Okay. So that would be a question then. Is Sister B, does some of her pullings and yearnings towards that book dissipated, that Pappy has the book and has gone away? It's out of her vicinity?
Yes.
Okay. So she's had better dreams. All right.
Yep.
So that's good. So she's more settled. And so she has suitcase. She goes down the street, always keeping eyes out. On a nice morning and walking down the street towards a pharmacy. We'll head inside and go to counter and perhaps it is the same young man that was serving previously.
Sure, and he's a little shaky in the hand and has some pair of glasses. And as you walk in, he puts his glasses down on his nose. He kind of squints at you, puts them back on his head, and he says, "Oh. I remember you. You dropped off. That sample came back."
Oh, this is very good. Yes, I put a little bit of extra grease to make it come faster. Thank you so much. That is good. And so you have sample.
Well, I mean, the sample didn't come back, but these notes did.
Oh. Well, the sample, yes, perhaps. Oh, that is interesting. That is okay. That sample did not come back, I suppose. But let's see the notes. Have you opened the notes and read notes, or are they private?
Make a psych roll on that. See how Sister B interprets what he's about to say.
That would be another 15, which is, in her psychology world, 2 points off from the extreme success.
Whoa. All right. So he's lying to you, Sister B, as he says, "Oh, no, ma'am, no, ma'am. I wouldn't look at anything. That's confidential material that you sent off, and I'm returning it to you as confidential material."
Oh, that is fine. So, is there a quiet place in the pharmacy that we can both go sit down and look at information? I'd love to see it with you, and you can maybe explain things to me.
Well, certainly, certainly.
Oh, thank you. But it would be worth your while to do so.
And so you'll head off to a section of the pharmacy, maybe a table, and like there's probably a soda fountain in there too, like old school kind of ice cream soda jerk. No, that's down the street, so that wouldn't make sense. We'll just call there's a table inside the pharmacy. How's that? And you'll head over to a table with him, and we'll cut over to Colette. And Colette, you've been back to the Straits a couple of times since you've been in the hotel, just because you met a few people there while you were trying to figure out where to be. And this most recent time that you headed back, who were you visiting?
I was visiting this widow who let me hide in her basement for a while. It had a street entrance so I could get in and out, or a outside entrance.
And the most recent time when you were visiting her, which we'll just say it was today, was really disturbing. She was all sorts of shaken up, literally and figuratively, to the point where even when she was serving you your tea, her hands just chattered along, and she was cutting her eyes. And maybe let's jump into that moment. How does that sound? And oh, Collette, it's so good to see you today.
It's good to see you too. But is something wrong today?
Did you hear about what happened next door?
Well, no, I've been across town for the past few weeks. What happened?
The whole family, they were murdered.
Murdered? They
Murdered.
didn't disappear. They were murdered.
Murdered. And the word around here is that it was awful. I mean, awful.
How were they murdered?
She makes the sign of the cross, and she mumbles under. She's mumbling some prayers under her breath, and you know me. I don't speak about things I hadn't seen. I'm not one to spread rumor, but Colette, it makes me nervous. It makes me so nervous to be here by myself. It's such a nice family. I don't know how something like that could happen to him. And I mean, you turned out to be a nice person, and I let you in, and I took care of you, but that could have just as easily been me. I mean, I could have let somebody who would have been the wrong person, and they'd have been in my house. And
can you go stay with your daughter for a while?
I think that's. I think that's a good idea, Colette. I think that's a good idea.
I think it is too, but you should really tell me what happened next door.
But I don't think I want to know. Some people, they started to tell me, and she makes the sign of the cross again, and she mumbles a couple of prayers, and she says, that family, they were just so nice, and I used to watch their kids play in the street and kick the can, and it's so quiet right now.
When did this happen?
Well, I mean, two days ago, the child was out in the street playing, and yesterday they weren't, and then Lucinda next on the other side, I heard her scream, and it wasn't no scream that it wasn't a scream that I knew something was wrong. I knew something was real wrong. And the police, they came, and then
I'm surprised they would even come here. I'm surprised they would care.
they didn't say long. They just tagged the building, and Lucinda, she was over here in tears yesterday, and she just said that they said they'd send the coroners over in a few days.
So you're saying the bodies are still there?
Well, you know that, honey. They don't move nothing out of here fast.
You need to go stay with your daughter. You shouldn't be here alone.
And we'll cut from that scene over to Sam. And Sam, you've been home for about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Things have smoothed over a bit, right?
Of course they did.
Certainly when you got back home, it was rough, but is it fair to say that you've tried pretty hard to at least make things appear as though you're putting in your solid effort at the home front and kind of giving up your extra investigations?
Well, I take a bit of offense to that, Keeper, as it's not just appears to be putting in effort. Rachel is the apple to my eye, and Amos is the cherry on top of this wonderful life I've got, and I just wouldn't want to lose them.
Who's the apple of your eye?
Right, Rachel? Cheryl.
That the reason you're in trouble with Cheryl's because of Rachel. Oh my god!
You planned that.
Shit, that was
You
perfect.
must have planned that. Did you plan that?
I think he was just hoping that I would have forgotten her name by now. But I knew it wasn't.
Oh,
I knew it wasn't a hard C sound. I knew it was a soft C sound.
Secret to a happy marriage: remember your wife's name.
It's big. It's on all the websites these days.
Yep. Yeah.
Remembering your
top 10
spouse's
things
name.
to do to not have your wife leave you. Number 1, remember her name.
Yeah, they didn't have those websites in the 40s.
That's true.
All right.
What does
That's
it rhyme with, honey?
That's Sam.
It rhymes with peril.
Nice.
Oh, that's perfect.
All right, so let's get back to the apple of your eye, Cheryl, and your child, Amos. Things on the ranch are going pretty well when one night you say you just get a bit tipsy before bed. And you head to bed early, and you start having a pretty vivid war dream.
Oh no.
Um,
Am I back at the Battle of Bellawood?
Sure. My World War I history would be not so your keeper's World War I history, but sure, you could be back at the Battle of Bellawood.
Yeah, off of the Monet River, and it'd be me in the first division there with my whole battalion, and the Germans are trying to make a push here and overrunning the French, and we came here to help.
Okay, and so this in fact, make a little sand roll for me, because why not?
All right.
It wouldn't be a Call of Cthulhu night if we didn't make Sam roll for something.
20. Good and sane as he ever was with
Okay.
Cheryl.
So you're protected by the confines of your sleep, and it's incredibly vivid, and you're right back in that trench, and you're embedded. And then what's the big event in this battle?
Well, they came and we launched an attack as they were preparing their own strike, the attack on Hill 142, and the friends were saying we got to retreat, and I said retreat. Hell, we just got here, and we went to charge on in.
All right, and one of your good trench buddies is going to be Ira Newsom. And tell me a little bit about Ira.
Ira was a country boy just like myself. He comes a little bit more from the Midwest, up in the Dakotas. His family were a long line of miners that made their way out there a while prior. And well, he just has nothing to do out there, and he heard the calling of his patriotic duty. We met in boot camp, and well, became thick as thieves.
And so you got to know a lot about each other, and Ira would have been from, as you said, from probably in this Bloodstone area that we're talking about, roughly like that area of the Dakotas. And so you would know that. And in addition, as this offensive launched in real life and as you're reliving in your dream, you surged forward, and it was a hail of mortars, right, just going off everywhere. And I'm looking at Wayne. Did I say something wrong? Did I miss a historical?
Okay. No, you're quite right. We were commanded by Major Turrell, and we were advancing in waves with bayonets fixed across an open wheat field. And then we were swept with German machine gun and artillery fire. And went poorly.
And a mortar goes off to the left of Ira, and Ira flies up and lands on top of you. And actually, you know in real life that later on that it was basically the explosion and shrapnel that Ira took saved your life, but it costs him his. And so in this dream, you're laying there on the battlefield, and Ira's bleeding out, basically from below. You can feel it soaking into your clothes, and he's babbling to you from above, and he says to you, oh, fucking government, god damn it, I knew they'd take me one way or another on this field. Oh,
Ira, and I presume my ears are ringing a bit as it sort of comes to, and I say, Ira, what the hell are you talking about? You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. We're going to get you out of here. A medic!
And he grabs you as you're kind of calling for the medic, and he's quite a bit lighter than he should be as you're kind of rolling him off of you, and he's starting to kind of spin out in terms of what he said. He put us in those goddamn mines for all those years, and remember that shit that my dad would come up with, and his fucking mind went, and oh yeah, there's something wrong all that time. I joined the army to leave that behind, and here I am, and I'm fucking dying in this damn wheat field for what?
Ira, keep on with your exposition, but I'm gonna slap your face a couple more times to try and wake you out of this.
And he says,
Stop, Ira. Get your head. We're here at the battle in Monet on Bellow Wood, which is an ironic twist given later life events. But we're gonna run back right now, and I need you just to focus, and maybe tell me a bit more of what happened, but in a metaphorical sense.
he says, there's shit there you don't ever want to see, Sam. Oh, I saw the purple light. Forgot the caves and the children. And my grandfather never wanted to be there. It was bad there. Those mines, there's something. And he dies.
Oh no, Ira, you were just about to reveal precious plot point. Wake up. You're never gonna make it back to Dolores. Ira. And it would probably fade with me slapping him and over my shoulder as I'm trying to stumble my way back through fire. Presumably there'd be extra bullets that his body would be shielding me from, but I wouldn't know about that. Yeah.
And you wake up to Cheryl, not Rachel, slapping you in the face and telling you to wake up. You're having that dream again. You're having that dream again. Sam, what is it?
Ira, get off me. Ira, it's gonna be all right. Cheryl.
Sam.
All right,
we'll cut over to Sister B in the pharmacy.
Can I just ask a quick question? What is Ira's last name?
Newsom.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Is he related to Jimmy?
You have double Newsoms.
I think that's the point.
Oh, fuck. Great. I just thought, I don't know. Said the wrong name by accident. I wanted my notes to be right.
Wait, so it's not Jimmy Jim Jimovich?
Oh, man.
All right.
Sorry.
Let's head over to Sister B in the pharmacy.
Hey, I just thought of something a little bit earlier. Eddie, did you know that your boss in the FBI, I don't know if it makes a difference, is J. Edgar Hoover?
And not in this universe.
So J. Edgar Hoover would be who was a bizarre person. He would be your up boss. So that might influence some of the things that happen because of his influence.
In this universe, is it Hoover?
It is. It's
yeah, I think we should go with that.
Yeah, it's J. Edgar Hoover. Yeah, it would make it very bizarre.
Yeah.
Perfect. I don't care
All
who
right.
I report to. It doesn't matter to me as long as I get Jimmy back.
All right. So Sister B, we'll put you back in the pharmacy.
Yep. Sister B wants to go over the table and very casually as they go over and does he have the paperwork?
Yeah, he does.
Okay. And it's as Sister B goes over, she's casually talking to him. Says, "Oh, it has been such a beautiful morning." And putting him at ease and says, "Oh, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing the information that is in here. And what was the information that you saw in here that was important?"
Let's see how well you trip him up here.
And then let's see if there's a.
And he says, "I don't know what you're talking about, sister. I didn't read anything. This is your report."
Could she try a persuasion?
Sure.
And she says, "No, you need to tell me if you looked at it. I'm just kind of curious. It would not be terrible."
Okay.
And she rolled she just made it.
Okay. And he casts his eyes down. He kind of looks at the floor and looks back up at you and says, well, maybe I looked just for a second. I was just kind of curious."
And then she looks at him right in the eye and says, "Oh, son, look at me for a second. You should never lie to a nun. Say that again. You should never lie to a nun. Tell me that."
You should never lie to a nun.
That is the right. So sit down with me and we will look at information. And also tell me, are there any people you are working for besides the pharmacy? You need to tell me that directly right now.
Oh, no, no, ma'am. I just got my degree. I've just been, I just started at the pharmacy, in the last 3 or 4 months.
Does he seem
And he's
truthful?
really young,
Yeah.
Sister B. So you'd be, that would, you can roll on it, but that should line up pretty closely.
That's fine. Yeah, okay. Well, she'll go with it. It is fine, young man. Sit down. We will look at the information together. I wanted to get your opinion anyway, but don't snoop into people's private items.
I'm sorry, sister.
So Sister B sits down with her suitcase next to her, and he says, "Okay, let's open the paper. Did you notice any curious anomalies in it?"
Well, it was pretty exciting here on page 1. I thought that, well, you didn't do a very good job taking your sample, sister.
Oh, that it was at a very strange place with many things going on there. And I was hoping it wasn't contaminated. Is that the problem?
Yeah. See, it says right there on the page, it says that the sample was probably contaminated because it had too much residue from external sources.
What else do we have in there?
Well, it says that the contaminant was some sort of like mold or mildew that was growing, like probably like you scraped it off some kind of surface that probably had something growing on it.
Oh, perhaps the substance, that it was a secondary substance that I had given you. Perhaps that was the one that has the mold or mildew?
Well, let's see. And then the other one was, they said it looked like, yeah, that would be this one, because the other one they said is brain tissue, but it was they note here that the brain matter is pretty spongy, that it didn't quite look like normal brain matter, like it had probably decayed, or it had taken a while, or it was old maybe.
So this brain matter, it is the only strange thing about it was that it was old, but no other curiosities about it.
Well, they said that it almost looked chewed through, kind of like a syphilitic brain would, but that there was no sign of syphilis.
Ah, that is very important. But the blood sample, nothing could be determined from it.
And he flips the page and he says, "Oh, and right here it says that sample was probably contaminated too, because it had the same kind of moldy mildew stuff that was in your other sample."
Okay. Ah. This is very important. You are a man of science and have taken things. So these
Yeah, I've got my degree.
and where did you get your degree from, young man?
I got it at the University of New Mexico.
Oh, not too far away from here. So this mildew, this substance that was all over everything, that could have emanated from in the room and gotten on there, but perhaps it emanated from somewhere else and was always there. Is that the possibility? Perhaps the person who had it harboring inside of them. Have you ever heard of anything?
I don't know. The report says that it's not anything that would commonly be found inside the body.
Ah, so it's an external thing. Commonly. But what about uncommonly?
And he reads for a few minutes, and he said, "Well, I used a little bit I used a little bit of your funds to make sure that if there was anything strange, because, well, you did pay me kind of well, sister. That's what made it haul fishy. That's why I was so curious what was inside. It does say that they weren't able to identify what kind of fungus it was, that it was a strange kind of fungal matter."
So this fungal matter, is this something that you could look into further? Is this the type of matter too, if you know funguses that could, let's say, reproduce at a very, very high rate and cause perhaps pressures if it was inside something?
I know more about medicine, sister. I'm not I'm not a biologist.
Oh, but back at your university, I'm sure you have some friends.
And he says, "Yeah, I could probably do that for you. Do you have any more of the sample?"
I was gonna say I could get more sample. I will head out. If you have a small vial I could use, I will get more sample of this fungiform and bring it to you. And perhaps one of your professors you have connection with could look at it in lab in your big American university.
And so he swaps you he's you could tell like the lights are kind of going off for him. Like he's pretty excited about whatever this is. And he immediately goes back and he gets you 4 vials, not just one. And he says, "Yeah, give me whatever you can. This is exciting."
I will find the different substances within the premises if I could do that, and I will bring them back to you perhaps later today or tomorrow. I will do it post haste as fast as possible. And what is your name anyway? I don't know his name.
Oh, I'm sorry. My name's Ethan. What's yours?
Ethan. Oh, I am Sister Bielopushkin, but you can call me Sister B.
Wow. All right, Sister B. Can I ask what this is for?
Oh, this is to find out things about some strange situations that happened with this inside of house, and it is all over the place. And sometimes you don't want molds inside of a house, and some people got sick, and I want to make sure they can get healthy from it, and we can clean it out. And we don't want it to be dangerous, and other people get exposed to it.
Whoop. Hang on. I lost my dice.
Oh yeah. And he looks right back at you and he goes, "Hey, Sister B,
Yes,
you know how I'm not supposed to lie to a nun?
that is correct.
I don't think nuns are supposed to lie either."
Oh, I am not lying. This is a thing that could be very dangerous or could be nothing at all. I don't know yet. If you find out that this is something that is very special and uncommon and perhaps some elements in it that it shouldn't have, this could lead us to some other discovery of something curious going on. Did you ever notice some things in this town that sometimes are not quite right or are curious?
Oh, absolutely, all the time. This town's weird.
So some of this weirdness could be part of this curious fungiform.
But Sister B, this is a human brain. It says right here in the report. Most people don't just bring human brains in.
That is correct. Sometimes things happen and to people that you love and you want to know what happened to them.
And so he accepts that as an answer.
Mhm.
All right. Let us, on that note, we'll cut to a break.
Perfect.
Sounds good. Everybody take 5-10 minutes and we'll see you in a few.